Okay. Got it.
Welcome to the Taste of Grace podcast, a podcast where women aren't just acknowledged,
But to be truly heard and understood.
Taste of Grace is a space where you're never alone.
You belong here, and we're so excited to share this journey with you.
What's up, fam? Taste of Grace podcast. We're on a journey. Dímelo, dímelo, dímelo. We are back with the Taste of Grace podcast, and we're just so happy to be here. This kind of feels like our new second home.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I'm Blanca, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, and this is my beautiful co-host,
Dorquita.
and we are gonna do this episode just slightly different because we're feeling like we're connecting to you guys. We're seeing the feedback and the questions, and we just had the most incredible launch party. So we just want to do an update. This should be our debrief.
We're catching up. We're all filling each other in on everything that's been going on. So
this is what we do, okay? We're treating this episode like what Dorka and I do after every event, after every get-together. It's like we call each other right
we
after.
Just spent 3 hours together.
And we're like, okay, so what did you think? That's what we're going to do here today.
Yes.
So where do we start?
I think we should start with the fact that we launched this week and we had our launch party.
Yes. Okay.
I think that's a good place. So we had a launch party, and what was supposed to be a small little celebration turned out to be this beautiful event with our favorite people. A lot of our vendors and sponsors were there. So
we just did, not extra, but just like a little bit extra. Like we may have had merch and customized napkins
and a DJ and some food.
There's always going to be food. You guys know that by now.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was so beautiful. We felt so loved. We had friends. Shout out to Frank Miami and all of the gang that came from Miami to spend this time with us. Bryce, our girl gang, like our circle that is just so supportive.
Some of my friends flew in from LA. We had people from New York. It was so kind for people to take this moment and really celebrate with us and believe with us for this new endeavor. It was mind-blowing.
What it helped me realize, because of the feedback that we've gotten from like our circle, is that this is not only something that they want to celebrate for us, but that they feel is needed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the most mind-blowing part of like seeing people say, no, like God is behind this, and we believe that this is going to touch so many, people and women, but you're representing the Latina community in a way that's just so beautiful. You're being true about who you are, about your faith, and making it feel like so authentic in how you're sharing it, that it feels like we're just your friends getting to listen in on a conversation. And I feel like that's been kind of eye-opening because I knew all these things.
Yeah.
Right? I had that intention when we first started talking about this dream. It's like those things were things that we've shared with each other, never to like really anybody else. But to see that the vision that God gave us back when we first started this is the takeaway that people are having from just a launch party is pretty wild to me, because it's like, it just gives me that like affirmation that this does have a purpose and that God is with us in all of these details. And I feel really proud.
Yeah, me too. I'm proud that we said yes to something that was so out of our comfort zone, or we truly did not think could really do something like that. Do you think people will receive it well? And I'm just so touched by all the feedback of people really connecting with so many of the messages and the things that we've struggled with, that we were like, we don't even know if people want to know this stuff, but this is truly like our life and things that have shaped us in many ways, and other people needed to hear that, and they've connected with us and they've opened up to us, letting us know that they feel seen. And truly, even all I needed was one message of someone being like, I feel seen, like I'm going through the same thing, and I'll be like, that's it, we did it. Like that's kind of the point, is to open up the space for people to be like, you're not crazy, you're not any less or more than anyone else. It's like we all struggle with a lot of more familiar and like similar things than you think. And it just takes someone's vulnerability or openness to be like, oh, I thought I was an alien, but I'm not. Like, this is really something that a lot of people out there, live with or struggle with. The launch party was such a good kickoff and send off to really what God can do through the podcast. I feel like it really opened my eyes, and I was like, wow, we have a lot of people behind us and praying over us and over this podcast and what it can do. It was just such a beautiful way to like tie it with a bow. And not that, like you said, it was so nice receiving the affirmation like God really is in this, but it's just so crazy to like see that happening. So we are so overwhelmed in a good way with all of the love and support.
Guys, we don't know what we're doing. That's the crazy part. It's like,
that's kind of the fun part.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
And I hope that encourages you, the ones that are listening, the ones that want to start something new, the ones that feel like they have this, something stirring of what they're trying to start. Like, we don't have a clue what we're doing. Neither one of us have ever done a podcast. Like, when we started, Dorka was terrified of public speaking.
This is my biggest fear. If you didn't know, let's just add that in there.
And for me, yeah, I do music and I sing and I get to share stuff before songs. But like the thought of doing something that completely doesn't require me at all to sing one note, I'm like, this is different. And so we came in not really knowing what to expect, not really knowing what to do, being stretched and out of our comfort zones. But that's the beauty of it. Like, I think my takeaway that I would want to leave you with, if you're in that position, is that you can't be great at something if you never start it.
Yes.
You can't be used by God if you never give him the chance to like stretch you. And so I've had to lean on that because I'm like, I want it to be perfect. I want to look like I have it figured out, and I don't ever want to show that I'm actually like kind of freaking out when we show up and we're like, what are we talking about?
Every time. I can recite everything we wrote down. It doesn't matter. It goes out the window. But that is kind of the beauty in it too, because when they say like, sometimes you just got to do it scared, know? And I'm like, this is God calling us to do something scared and allowing him to work. Like, now we have to rely on him because we know by our own merit, like, we can't do it. And this is a perfect time for God to show us like his faithfulness, his guidance, and all these things, because it is a dream stirring in our heart that is so scary, but we have no choice but to rely on him. And he calls us to do that in so many ways. So sometimes you got to do it scared. You got to work through it.
I love that. Do it scared. That's a great quote. It's like, you got to do it afraid. You got to do it scared.
Or you'll never start anything that can seem, big or great, or like achieve certain dreams that just seem so out of your scope of ability. And God is like, just start. Just do it scared. We'll figure it out later.
And another key component that I would say, outside of doing it scared and just starting something even when you don't have it all figured out, is community. I have never felt the importance of being surrounded by people that keep you accountable, that love you, that pray with you, that encourage you, like I have in this season of my life. And I see that this is how the Lord intends it to be, is to do it with people. And the launch is a perfect example. Our launch party, like, our community of friends showed up in a major way, from the photographer to the dessert table to the Ray as the coordinator, to, like, in so many aspects. Not only did they support us with their, like, gift of showing up, but they supported us with their actual gifts and talents. And, like, and that happened because we had built relationships with them. Like, it's not just because we asked for a favor, or no, it's like you invest in others and in turn you get that same support back. And I don't know if that makes sense, but do you see what I'm saying? It's like, community has, like, saved us in this season. Like, I feel like it's so important to make the effort and try to build with other people and
be intentional,
make that a priority.
And while we're on that topic, we should probably shout out some of the people that supported us and like help sponsor and were there as vendors, because truly they made this event something so out of our, like, more than we could have ever dreamt of. Something that I'm pretty sure the next few days after the launch party, I was just like, did that really just happen? Like, I want to look at pictures. I wish I could go back.
Understood. Sorry.
Don't get me started. I love musicals, okay? I'll start singing. Nobody wants that.
No one wants. Sorry.
No, now when I sing it out of nowhere
I'm sorry.
all day long.
I'm sorry.
No, you should be sorry to yourself, because you're the one that gets mad when I'm serenading you every morning with a song.
A todo volumen.
I don't hold back.
Okay.
And when I hit a note, I'm like, oh, did you hear that? Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah. You're like, I don't know. I low-key feel like I could sing a little.
Yeah. Okay. But yes. Okay. Let's do it. Let's show some love to some of the people that made this what it was. Let's start with the venue, because this venue was a little hidden gem. And I'm so happy that it's in our community of Orlando. It was the most perfect location.
It really was.
It fit the vibe perfectly, and they worked with us. So shout out to Dockside Lake Nona
and Canvas
Restaurant, because they hooked it up. We had our amazing planner Ray, who was actually the one that found the spot and told us about it.
Yes.
Ray Nicole Events, thank you. She did mine and Steven's vow renewal, so she holds a special place. We had Carty Photography, our friend Kyla and JP, who did our photography. They were amazing.
The DJ,
iRock, Sebastian from iRock, who also DJ'd at Stephen and I's vow renewal, and it's just amazing. He has so many cool things, and he actually brought a lot of them.
Gala Rentals
hooked it up with the furniture, so stunning, and fit the vibe so perfectly.
Morgan Hunter Desserts,
yes, our girl Morgan,
killed it with the custom cookies and dessert table. We had the floral.
Oh my gosh, Revel Co.
Yeah,
the florals were so beautiful. I mean, we had 2Ps.
That was
doing all our stationery.
My favorite touch. I think 2Ps.
Yeah, she killed it.
Yeah, the drink stirs and the napkins.
We did drink stirs with our little logo. The napkins had a cute little, like, scripted message from Blanca and I. Purple Ocean, of course, our food sponsor from most of our episodes. They were there. They had a little acai setup. Our girl Adelina with
Dipped by
Aid. We did what was it? The Dubai chocolate and toppings on the strawberries. You guys need to check them out. It was
so good.
It was just such a nice.
So I know we've been like ranting about our vendors for the last 5-10 minutes, but it's just what they brought, and it just deserved a moment on the podcast to just thank them and really highlight what they do, because I don't know, just like getting to do our event and then also showcase local vendors and what they're doing here for our Orlando area, I felt like was so special. So we really want to make sure we took the time to take this moment on our podcast to say we couldn't have done it without you.
Truly.
So thank you guys so much for the love and support that you brought.
Yes. It's honestly just something I'll never forget. It really is. And we brought our merch and we think it's so cute. We'll link it somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to link it soon. We're going to have it up on the website soon.
Yes, it's so cute. But yeah, that was just a perfect way to launch our first episode. So we launched the first episode the next morning, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Now every Tuesday we get to put out a new part of us into the world.
I'm taken back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm taken back already by the response from it and how you guys have like reached out to us. And so that was another thing that we wanted to do for this episode, was to connect with you. We asked if you had any questions that you wanted to ask us. We've gotten some of your DMs.
Q&A.
Yeah,
yes.
so like let's just make this time a Q&A time. And if you missed out, if you're listening to the pod right now and you missed out on asking us questions for this episode, make sure connect with us. Go to our Instagram page, DM us, send us in questions, and even or leave a review, on YouTube. Like talk to us and let us know, because we're really engaged in reading it and connecting with you guys. It's really important to us. So we are taking the time to do that.
Yes. Should I start us off?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you answer the first question? And then you can answer with that one.
I'm scared.
Why?
Because I haven't looked them over.
Well, to be fair, you're the only one that can answer this one. So that's why you have to. That's why you have to start.
Porque no me prepare.
But it's kind of nice because then you can't overthink it. You just have to answer.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask. You ready?
I just saw it.
We're starting strong. Okay. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Somebody asked, what is your take on dating after divorce?
Oh,
Se
my
puso
gosh.
caliente.
Bien caliente. Can I do pass?
No. It doesn't have to be in depth because we have so many questions to go through. Maybe just like a
dating after divorce. I would say this has been very challenging. It's something to just think about it. I got married when I was 22 years old. I got divorced 10 years later. So I'm 32.
So you were married for 10 years.
Yeah. So it's like the time, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like to be a young 22-year-old who's getting into a relationship and is like this, just ready for life. Yeah. And then being 32 and being like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what it is to go on a date. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go to find that. Like, I don't want to do online dating. No, and just because I've never done it. So it's like so intimidating. Like, I'm not trying to go online. Like, can I meet somebody? Can I find someone in church? Like, how do you do this? And so that was super intimidating. And I did get to date after my divorce. And so the question was like, what are my thoughts on it? Or
yeah, like what's your take on dating after
divorce? I feel
divorce?
like you have to, the biggest, hardest challenge is to get out of your head, get out of your own way. Comparing your last relationship to what your potential new relationship, in both aspects, like the good of your last relationship or even the bad, I think you can kind of like poison the water of that new relationship because you're already coming in with so many expectations. You're already coming in with kind of like things that you're you're not giving this person the opportunity to show that themselves and who they are and how they show up in a relationship.
So that must be hard because you're trying to take nothing in some ways. Like, you're not trying to compare it to the highs of this or the lows of this, because if you lead with the lows, then also that's like, yeah, you're not letting the relationship flourish, maybe out of fear.
Yeah, exactly. So but I think it's like a learning like curve. I think I'm understanding now that all of it, I keep saying this, but like all of it is used by God. There's nothing is
Count it all.
wasted. He counts. Yeah, he uses all of it. And I think relationship requires risk, and you can't come in already closed up to what the trauma of what you've faced has been, or the fears of, the lows of your past. Like, you gotta take the risk and be willing to count it as a new learning lesson for your life. And so I didn't come in with that expectation. I just thought, like, I went through this, I'm ready for something different and new. And so it was really hard when it didn't pan out the way that I thought it would. But as I look back and reflect on it, I'm like, I'm understanding like my worth. I'm understanding the things that I do desire and believe that are non-negotiables for me in a relationship. And I wouldn't have had that if I didn't date after my divorce. Like,
that's really good. Yeah.
So did that answer the question well?
Yeah, I think so. I know that was hard. So
thank you.
Thanks for opening up and sharing your heart. You want to ask me the other one?
Yes. Okay. Okay. The next question is, what would you call the season of life you're in right now?
Ooh.
I see it like this. Like, if your life was a movie and we're walking into this next scene, which is the season you're currently in, what would be the title of it? Or this is like a Netflix series. What episode are we on? And what would you call this season of your life right now?
Okay. That's a really good question. This is a good question because I'm in a season where I have a lot of conflicting. I feel like I have two different seasons conflicting at the same time. So I'm navigating a lot.
And I feel like it's like, instead of season 1, like a title, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, you went through your first big grief. You went through, like, what would this season be called? It's like,
what would you call it from an outside perspective?
Like, I'm trying to think of a title of like life after grief. Like,
I feel like Raising from the Ashes, but that
seems so intense. But it's kind of like you're into those books that are like,
don't judge me. You said that with judgment.
I did not.
You said you're into those books. What, my fantasy?
Yeah, the titles are like Raising from the Ashes, The Fire Monarch, Acliticus. Wait, that sounds like delete. Why did I even say that? I just got so hot. I didn't mean to say that, but they're like Arcart. What are you talking about? The book, the name of the
Akatar?
Thank you. You're looking at me like that's. I wasn't par with Acliticus. It was.
Don't ever say that again. I know, it's like for Iron Flame.
You see? Okay, so
Onyx Storm.
Okay, so that's all gonna be chopped, Carlos.
No, I feel like some of it should be kept.
Some, not the word. Okay. So now going back in, what would you call this season of your life right now?
It seems like a vortex of some sort.
Okay. The vortex.
That's
what we're calling this season of her life.
It's just a lot of conflicting, like, situations happening. So this past year, I went through my first... I'm getting emotional already. That was not supposed to happen. We were just laughing. Okay. I went through my first big loss. So, losing my dad, like, that took me into a whole just, like, unknown territory, world, like, whirlwind, maybe. It's true when they say that you just, like, there's no perfect way to navigate grief. And I definitely had different expectations. I was like, okay, obviously I'm sad, obviously I'm upset, but I didn't realize it to be the roller coaster that it was. So all of last year was basically definitely, it would have been a good show, because the way I was unraveling in every episode would have kept you on your toes. And grief reared up its head in many different ways, and I'm sure people who have experienced grief could relate. And so coming out of that, though, there are so many things that I learned about myself, and I am definitely not the same person I was last year or before that. Like, it changed me completely, and I do think in the best ways. Not in the ways that I expected, but I do think it pushed me to do things I was afraid of. It pushed me to go past my fear. It changed my perspective on what this life could look like if I stop letting fear and other elements, like, keep me from pursuing things and dreams that God has placed in my heart. I think seeing my dad, like, at the end of his life allowed me to reflect on life is short, and what do I want my life to look like, and when it's that time, why, like, what do I want to look back and know? And to me, that was like, I want to know that I lived with no regrets, that I took on chances that perhaps before that I didn't, like, I couldn't muster up the courage to do. So I feel like a lot of courage came from that season. And stepping into this year, like, of course I carry that with me, and I still grieve, but it does look different. And I do feel that I feel like this is my yes year. I'm saying yes to everything. I'm like, everything good, I'm saying yes to, working past my fears. I'm saying yes to, like, giving myself a chance to be bigger, or, like, to do more than I ever thought I could. I'm saying yes to God's calling, whatever that looks like. I'm not holding on tight to what I thought my dreams and where I wanted my life to go. I want it to go where God wants it to go. So I'm saying yes to whatever purpose he has, and I'm allowing him to navigate that.
Amen.
So it went from a year of loss to a year of yes and goodness, but while still, that's why I'm saying it's like it's so exciting. I feel very confident in the Lord, like I never have before. And I know that he has good plans for all his children, and he wants all of us to have a good future. And no matter the situation that you just walked out of. So it's a little bit of both. It's like sometimes I feel grief, but I also now know more than ever that I'm in a season where I just fully trust in the Lord. I'm just like, whatever that looks like, whatever that needs to go, like, I trust the Lord. So I don't know if Vortex was a good, now that I explained it, I'm like,
it's already done.
It's done. Okay.
Vortex,
Okay.
Vortex was what it was. And I would watch that episode.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
Your turn for a question. This is a good one.
Okay.
What's something that you used to pray for that you no longer want?
Ooh, I was going to use that one on you.
I won.
Because I'm like, there's not specifically something that I can think of that I'm like, I no longer
Mm-hmm.
want necessarily, but I think my perspective on what I think I want compared to like God's will for my life has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to unpack this, but it comes from this understanding. We're going to bring it all back to Constance being like, life is happening for you.
Mm-hmm.
And grasping that idea, I feel like I understood that even the things that I didn't necessarily pray for helped develop me into the person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of consistently being the resistance to anything that was not on the list of what I thought I needed, I learned to accept. And so I think it's less about what I no longer want, and more so like not holding on to the things that I think I need as like Bible, but just being like, I'm missing something here. I approach every situation with curiosity rather than just complete like doubt.
Like a must. Oh, okay.
Like if something hard is happening, rather than just being like, why is this happening to me? Like, God, where are you? Like, instead of approaching it with so much like doubt and fear, I approach it with questions and curiosity to say, what are you trying to show me that I wasn't seeing? And I know this is for my good. I know that you're working in this. So how can, like, show me more clarity? I know that you're in this. So how can I see more clearly? And like, those things help your perspective. I love, we have this Bible study that we do every month with our girls here, and
it's so awesome. I look forward to it every single time.
Me too.
So
and
good.
Something has stuck with me in one of the chapters that we read in this book called Jesus Through the Eyes of Women. I believe that's the title. But there was this, it was talking about the scripture, and there was a woman. Man, I wish I could have the exact part of it, but she basically has two sons, and they're walking with Jesus, and she tries to like bargain with Jesus and say like, hey, if you could like get my sons to be at the right and left hand of God when the time comes, like to be with you, like they're really good guys, like they would be great assets. This is me paraphrasing. You should really consider it. Let me know what I could do as their mother to prepare them for that. And Jesus is like, this lady has no clue that I'm about to die for the sins of this world. And out of her desire to want the best for her kids, she's asking of something, not knowing that what she's asking for, the cost of it, and like that it's not what she needs. It's not what her children need. That wasn't their purpose. And so that stood out to me so much, because I'm like, out of my own kind of perception of what I think I need in my life, I might be telling Jesus like, hey, put in a good word for me. Like, I think this is,
you want something to work out.
Yeah, this needs to work out. And I think this is going to open all the right doors. And so let's work together. Like, let me know what I need to do to secure my spot. And he's kind of like, from my point of view, I'm seeing this whole picture, and you don't see where that road leads. And that's not what you need, Blanca. So like, you got to let it go. So I'm learning to like, I don't even know
like to pray for like, you want what he wants for you.
Yes.
As opposed to like, you don't want to just pray and ask for what you think is best for you.
Yes. So it's not that there's things that I prayed for that I no longer want. There's things that I still want that I haven't received, but I'm learning to change my prayer and say, I know that this is what I want, but I desire what you want for me more. So let's go with that.
That's good. We got there.
3 hours later.
We cannot give one-word answers. We go in.
I know. She already gave us the clock that we're like 30 minutes in. I was like, oh. So for this last question,
rapid
I gotta
fire.
make it good. You could tell me if you don't want this one, but I have to pick one. What advice would you give someone who feels like they've outgrown their environment?
Okay, one thing that I do think I enjoy is kind of like constantly be in this growth type of like mentality, like always wanting to continue to expand, be better at my job, explore new techniques or opportunities like that are maybe not as natural to me, or uh I don't know, just in anything. I'm always like I don't like the idea of being stagnant or complacent with where I'm at. I always seek wisdom from the Lord, like help me grow, help me see my blind spots, help me, be a better friend, a better family member, a better makeup artist. How can I serve my clients and the people around me better? And personally, I have the way I've experienced outgrowing my environment, if you will, is just kind of seeing, like, in different ways, just hearing God and letting the Holy Spirit lead me. Because just because you've outgrown an environment doesn't mean the job is bad. It doesn't mean the people are bad. It's just not, what I've learned is that it just may not line up with where you're going. So
that's good.
Sometimes people see that as a negative, but it's not. It's like some things are there for a purpose and a season, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing that they're coming to an end or a pivot. Because there was friends that I used to be really, really close to, and things pivoted, and you're just not, life takes you both in different directions. And I have so much love for them, and we keep up with each other and all this stuff, and there's nothing there. There's just an understanding. I don't think outgrowing your environment is as cookie cutter as people make it seem. Like, I'm cutting everyone off, I'm quitting from my job. To me, I've only experienced it in a way where it was gradually moving in different directions. And so I've always thought, like, God will lead you if you allow him to. He will lead you in the direction that you need to go in. And along the way, he will just, everything will fall into place in a way that he wants it to. And because my deepest desire is to do God's will for my life, because that's how I know that I'm going to be okay. And that, in the end, he has a bigger and better plan than I do. And so I can only trust the one with the big picture. So outgrowing my environment isn't a negative.
Yeah.
And I enjoy when other people have to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be like a bad situation. It's like, if people that I love and care for, or like a job has moved on, and it's happened, then I'm like, good. I'm glad. I hope that works out for them. I hope that's a good circumstance. And if that fits them better, it's nothing personal. It's just, it just flows better that way. And that's okay, because the same thing will happen to me. You can't, if you're moving and you're constantly asking God to lead your life, and whether that's career, friendship, relationship, like, it's just going to gradually happen. I don't know if I have advice other than,
no, that's great. I feel like your advice was like, good job.
Yeah.
If you've outgrown your environment, my advice to you is, well done.
Yeah.
You're basically saying, like, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. And if you've outgrown your environment, just know that God will place everyone and everything that's supposed to be there at the right moment. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I wanted, while you were talking about like the will of God and being like, I just want that for my life. And you know what the beauty of the Lord is that even when you make wrong decisions, you can choose to make them right. You can make a wrong decision right. And that's something my therapist tells me all the time, is like, I'm so afraid of making the wrong decision and not following the will of God. Like, it sounds so easy to do, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And sometimes I choose the wrong thing thinking that it was the right. But the beauty is in learning all of that, you can make the wrong decision right. So even in an outgrowing, like your current state, it's like you're trying to figure out what's next, and you can sometimes choose the thing and realize like, oh, I think, no, let me take 2 steps back. I think it was this way. And it's okay. Like, it's all part of it.
It is. And God doesn't expect us to know everything, or like, it's not a yes or no answer that we get. Like, it's not just a, yeah, go this way, or yeah, go that way. So mistakes will be will be made, and God knows this, and his grace is so sufficient, and he's so lovely that he is like, just okay, now let's go back in this direction, and he gives you those little nudges. And I feel like paying attention to and listening to his voice leading you is you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it all, is having that confidence in God, and like just knowing that it's going to work out.
Amen. This was fun.
That was fun.
I feel like
we should do another Q&A.
I do too.
At some point.
I feel like if you watch this episode, or if you listen to this episode and you have more questions, or even topics that you really want us to hit on, that'll be super helpful to us. But it's actually really fun to think through some of these really deep questions that you guys are sending.
I'm like self-discover, like,
I know.
What do I think about that? Yeah, that's really good.
It's really cool. So thank you guys for listening to this episode. Yes. We can't wait to continue to connect with you. We might even do like a live on Instagram where we can answer the rest of these questions that we didn't get to. But we love you. We hope that you are feeling encouraged in whatever season you are currently walking through, to continue outgrowing that space, to continue doing it scared. Like, just go for it, and you're not alone.
You're not alone. Thanks for tuning in and having these conversations with us. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all the things. We're on Spotify, Apple, and our YouTube. I hope you guys are watching the video too, because it's a lot of fun. And thank you to our sponsors, Purple Ocean, always hooking us up with all the caffeine as well as the food. So thank you, everyone. And don't forget to show yourself a little bit of grace.